Well, look at this. Tom has finished this lovely little section by the house where we are specifically going to be growing a rose up here. And we have chosen the Generous Gardener. This is a beautiful, beautiful sort of pinky peachy rose that we admired when we visited there earlier on this year. So I thought I'd quickly go through how to plant a bare root rose. If you haven't planted one before, now is the best time to do it. So we've got a nice cold November day, and you've got anything up until I think around about January, February time, provided your ground hasn't completely frosted. When you receive your rose in the post, or if you've picked it up from David Austin Roses, first thing I highly recommend is to soak the roots in a bucket of water for about 2 hours. So this is what you will typically expect. You'll get at least, I don't know, maybe 3-4 strong stems, which will be part of your framework for training your rose against the wall. And then if we get a closer look, you're going to see this here. And this is where they've grafted the rose. This is part of the rootstock, and this is where they're grafted on the rose. Now, what we want to make sure is this goes under the ground when you plant the rose. And I'll show you how. Now, after the rose has been soaking for 2 hours, we want to make sure we've got a hole dug ready. And you want the rose to be approximately about 1 foot away from the structure you're going to be climbing it up. And your hole needs to be around about 18 inches deep, so that it's deep enough for your rose to go right inside. A great tip I've learnt when I went on the bare root course at David Austin Roses was to use the mycorrhizal fungi, which I can never pronounce. And this stimulates root growth. And this little packet here will feed up to 3 roses. So I'm going to sprinkle enough onto here over the hole so that any bits that come off this will fall into the hole as I sprinkle. So here goes. And that is perfect. And then just tease the roots into the hole like so. Have the rose in the position to where I'm going to train it. And that's probably about right. And just press it in with your foot gently. And then put some more over. And that is going to be very snug in there. Now it's in, I'm going to use the water that it was soaking in to water it in. Always important to water a rose in so that the soil settles fully around all the roots and it beds in much better. A very big tip with roses, always remember they are hungry feeders. And also in the first year or two, while it's setting its roots out, don't let it dry out, because that's why we can tend to lose a lot of plants. Our next job, which we probably should have done before planting the rose, and they do recommend it, is to put the wires up on the wall. And when we come to do that, we'll show you, and it will be quite soon, hopefully. Won't it, darling? Tom's nodding. And we'll go through all of that with you. And as the rose grows, we will also show you how we're going to train it up this wall. And in no time at all, we'll have a beautiful climbing rose to admire through the summer months.